Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Chantel and I am the owner of SD Lala Aesthetics. It's also known as Ambience Aesthetics right now, so I'm kind of like figuring out what's going on with my name. But a lot of people know me by Lash by Chantel because that's what I do and that's who I am, so that's kind of gonna be my new name probably. Anyway, I'm making this video today because I want to give everybody the real deal insights on running a startup business if you're doing beauty and lashes because it's quite a lot of things. So if you don't know me, I have like an Instagram account. I'm in Aurora, Colorado. I've got like a YouTube, like I'm in all these lash groups. I've been doing this a year. I'm an esthetician, I'm licensed, and I learned myself how to do lashes with following Live Bay Lash podcasts and a lot of YouTube videos. But I feel like I've had quite a bit of success in a year, which is why I want to make this video and give a lot of insight on how I gained my clientele and how I got busy and how I kind of got popular in my city doing this, because it was a lot of work and I just want people to have a realistic expectation of what they're getting into if they're getting started. So, what happened in the beginning, the very beginning of this life was August 19, so that was literally 1 year ago. I had all of these expectations that I thought were going to be a lot easier and a lot more simple than they were. So August 2019, I joined an esthetician program. I did night classes and I did it part-time. And during that time period, about a month in, I decided I wanted to start lashing because I had a mannequin, and all they gave me in school, let me tell you this, all they gave me in esthetician school for lashing was a mannequin head and Ardell clusters, literally, like that's all I got, and like a little tiny strip glue. So I did that and I practiced on the mannequin like 3 times on that. Oh my god, it was horrible, but I was like, hey, like I was all super confident, you know, like you get when you're excited about something even though you've never done it before. That was me. And I was like, I got this, you know, I got this, I'm gonna do this. So I set up a little like spa treatment room in my house because I had a little den in a condo I was renting, and I've got 2 kids, so I had like my daughter in the loft upstairs, I had my son in like this other room downstairs which had French doors so you could like see his room, so I blocked that off with a tapestry, all ghetto. And I set up my little lash room. I got like the cheapest stuff I could find like off Amazon. It was like a bed, a pillow, my Amazon light, which I still have to this day, you know, my little cart from Walmart, and then all of my really crappy supplies to get started. And what I did was I started seeing models and I tried to get comfortable on camera because I felt like to connect with people, it would be important for me to like show who I am as a person on camera instead of just posting stuff and posting about lashes all day long. It's like people don't know who you are, and I feel like you sell yourself, you know what I mean? Like anyone that I've gone to them because like I was a fan of who they were funny, they were outgoing, and they, you know, people I watch, like I like to watch people, so like talk and educate. I don't like to just read, really, honestly. So I decided I need to make like a presence online. So I started doing that. I got out of the comfort zone a little bit. I started making videos and posting my work, which was like absolutely terrible work, but I just kept doing it. Like I kept blowing it up on Instagram every single day, like posting my work, my crappy little before and after pictures, like posting it. I did free lashes for 6 whole months. And with that, I started requiring tip like 3 months in because I wasn't making anything and I was like it costed me money to see clients. It's not like I had money, so I was like, okay, well, I need to do something even though I'm not charging and I suck, like I need to do something. So I started requiring tip. And what's nice about that is like people can be super generous with tips and they can also stiff you. So I tried to make it as obvious as possible that I required tip without being like an asshole about it. People are super nice. Like I remember the first tip I got was like $60 for a classic full set, which is like a lot, and I was just ecstatic. I was like, oh my god, like this is my business, I'm doing it, like this is me, blah blah. And I still see that client to this day. Like it's awesome. So required tip if you're going to do free lashes, because you need models and models know that they're models, so they're a lot more forgiving, but also like, you know, it costs a lot of time and a lot of money to get started, so you need to be making something. I did it 6 months because I just wanted to get really good, but a lot of people do like 10 free clients and then start charging model prices, which I think is super fair. So I did all of that when I was in esthetician school, so I felt comfortable doing that from esthetician school. There are a lot of guidelines through Dora, like if you're going to set up a home shop, there's a lot of regulations. You have to have like 2 exits. You have to be state approved. You have to be licensed. You have to have all these things. So it's really hard to get the experience without the license to do it legally. So a lot of people that do start out have to start out illegally because they need to get good and they need to build up clientele. I mean, that's kind of the name of the game, honestly. And it does suck, so be very careful. I also did a lot of research on eyes and like conditions, infections, diseases, surgeries, all of these things. Like, what is Accutane, you know, what is endophthalmitis, what are these things that like are super important to know about, even though it doesn't have much to do with what you're doing. Like, you want to know who you can and who you cannot see because you don't want to be getting sued for a condition that has absolutely nothing to do with what you're doing. You know, like, it's important for you to know a lot ahead of time. So do a lot of research. On my website, I have a frequently asked questions page, and it's like super long, and it really helped educate me too on what I'm doing, because the more you talk and the more you research, and even when you teach or tell people, like, you're also learning yourself a lot of things. So I have that frequently asked questions page for my clients. I like to refer them to that because I don't have time to be answering the phone or texting back. So a lot of my business stuff is online, like on my website, on my scheduling portal. If I'm lashing, I'm not answering my phone. It's also putting policies in place, you know what I mean? Like getting comfortable saying like no, once you do start charging, being like, no, these are my prices. I don't care if you're my neighbor. I don't care if you're my friend. I'm valuable. Like, my value is not going to go down just because you can't afford my prices, you know? This is your business and you have the right to be professional, but also stand your ground. So that's super important. I think the total cost for me to get started on the very cheap end of things was like $350. And then I just started marketing. I'm from the same, like, I grew up in the area that I work, so it was easier for me to like find clientele. Using hashtags on Instagram was a big one. And it takes a good year. Like, it takes a good year to start having 3-4 clients every single day. Like, I still struggle with that. And there are still months that are going to be slow. Like, you will have your peak months and you will have your slow months. And that's why it's super important to learn how to budget, because last year when it was free, I didn't know that there were months that were slow. Like, I was super busy before Christmas, and then I was like dead for like 2 months. And it was stressful because I wasn't working. Like, I quit my job to learn lashing and everything. So it's a lot of budgeting. And then of course, like with all of that other stuff, you know, if you're getting started, you have to learn everything. You have to be a master in the knowledge portion of what you're doing, but you also need to be legit. Like, you have to get your limited liability, which is an LLC. I recommend that for small businesses. I don't know a whole lot about the other ones, but I do know that if somebody tries to come at you and sue you, if you have an LLC, they can only take the assets of your company. They can't come after your car, your house, like your personal bank account, your husband. Like, they can't come after anything if you have an LLC. So it's really important to have that, because there are haters out there that are gonna not like your lipstick and, you know, want to cause problems. So you just have to really cover yourself and make sure that you're doing everything you can to protect yourself. Also with an LLC, so you need that. You also need your employer ID number. And your employer ID number is important for you to open a business bank account. Here in my state, in Colorado, you have to have your business license, your esthetician or Cosmo license to open a business bank account. But your employer ID number is going to be required because that's how they're going to track you federally for taxes. So you have to have that to do a lot of things to like be a legit business. You have to have that to like, I even had to put that in, I think, for like my Vagaro scheduling app. Like, I don't know. You just have to be accredited. The LLC costs $50, so it's not expensive. You will see a lot of pop-ups like, join this for $200 and get like 5 lawyers. Like, you don't need to do that for an LLC. Make sure you're going to the actual government website for your state to get it, and not some foo-foo website from like a lawyer, because you want to make sure that you're not spending money you don't have to. Your EIN is free, completely free of charge for that. And then you want to get your Duns and Bradstreet number, which is free as well. And what a Duns and Bradstreet number is that's how companies and other loan officers are going to track your business credit. So you can have a totally separate credit line for your business and have great credit, and then you can have like crap credit for yourself. But with your business credit, if you do it right and if you start proving your income, you're going to be able to qualify for like a house, like a car, you know, loans, things that you might need to like get you a big salon with like multiple employees. That's how you're going to do it, is through your business credit. And in order to build business credit, you have to have business equity. And in order to build business equity, you need a business bank account, and you need to be tracking your income. So what I would recommend doing for that, for instance, let's just say you got pretty successful, right? Or somewhat successful and you made 2 grand a week. That's 8 grand a month. So all of that would need to be documented in your business bank account. And then you are your own employee. So what you have to do is you have to pay yourself. So you don't want to pay yourself the full 8 grand because then you have no business equity and then you don't have anything saved for taxes. So you need to pay yourself enough to cover your bills and your expenses, but also leave 30% of your income per month in your business bank account because you want to be able to have 30% of all of your earnings to claim towards taxes. And that's going to be your taxes that you're not paying. Like when you get paid from people, like there's no taxes in that. So you need to save 30%. So that brings you to what, 70%, right? Of that 8 grand. Well, then you need to pay yourself and you have a lot of expenses. So I would pay myself probably like 50%. And then you leave 20% in there. And that 20% in your business bank account is going to grow and grow and grow. And that's how you're going to get your business equity. So there's a lot that you have to keep track of. And it's crazy. Like I'm so disorganized. I like buy lash trays when I need them off, my various websites. But I want to get a vendor. And the reason I want to get a vendor is because it'd be nice as a business owner. Like if you're really committed and you're like pretty busy, you want to have like bulk stock of what you need. Like I would want to drop like $500-600 on supplies that last me 6 whole months. So that way my $500-600 is going to be easy to track and calculate when I go to pay my taxes, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Because you want to keep track of every single thing that you have to spend out of pocket in order to take that away from what you owe. And this is where you need an accountant because I don't know how to do all that. I'm pretty savvy with taxes, but not that savvy. So you need a quarterly accountant. You want to file your taxes quarterly, and you want to take everything you spent and everything you've made and bring it all very organized to your accountant, so that way you can get your taxes filed easily. And when you get in this system, it gets a lot easier. I also recommend getting any certification you can. If you have like your lash certifications, if you have your volume training or whatever, frame them and hang them on your wall. It doesn't even matter because you need to look professional. Like, of course, it matters if they're on there. Like, you're supposed to have them on there in your salon, but you want as many as you can. Like Barbicide, you can see Barbicide, they offer 2 certificates, one for COVID-19 and one for your Barbicide, which is what you need to disinfect your tools. So why aren't you taking that? You know what I mean? It's like, all you got to do is take a quick quiz and you get a certificate that you can hang up, and it makes you look really legit. Like I've got all mine up here, and I have like 2 more. I messed up my camera because I just want like a whole wall of like certificates. Like it makes you look legit. It makes you look like you know your shit. It's super important. So also customer service. Like I think it's important to give things away for free. Like if you have a client that's irritated with you or your service and whatever, isn't happy, it's going to be worth it for you to give them a free fill so they stay with you, because over time, like if you lose a client, you're potentially losing like $100 to $150 a month because they have to come in twice a month usually. So you don't want to lose your clients. Like your clients are everything, you know what I mean? So give them something for free. Like let them know like, hey, like I got your back. Like I love you. I want you here. You know what I mean? You have to be really flexible and you have to be really understanding, but you also have to be stern so people appreciate you, but also know like not to mess with you because you don't play those games. So it's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of professionalism. It's a lot of posting and editing your stuff. Like I suggest if you're doing lashes to get like Airbrush. You have to pay for that app, but it really lets you get all of like the acne and the scarring out of people's face and like the hyperpigmentation. You can get rid of all of that, make it look flawless. It's really important to like market yourself well, be very active on Instagram. It costed me like $350 to get started. I'm a year in. Like I was published in a magazine a few months ago, so like that was super legit. And you just have to put your all into it. Like you can't be a part-time business owner. Like if you're really about your business, you need to commit to it full time. And once you commit to it full time, you realize it's like more than a full-time job. Like you have to put in the work to get the results. Because when I started, I wanted to only lash on the weekends. And I mean, that's just not realistic. If you want it to be a legit company, like you have to put your all in. That hunger for clients only comes when that's your only income. You're not going to be out there doing your all and doing your best and getting really good and being the best in town if you're working full time. So I think all business owners should really, really consider quitting their full-time job and jumping into it. Like, you have to make that jump. You have to make that jump for it to work. I hope this video was helpful. Please let me know if you have any other questions or if you want another video. I will link like the LLC and the EIN and the Duns and Bradstreet and all of these legit things that you need to do. I will link those below to get started with your business. I hope you're very successful. My first video that I ever made showed my DIY setup for my first little treatment room at home on the cheap. So if you want to watch that, I suggest doing that because that's how I really got started. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I will see you later.